we're going to keep battling that out throughout this week, and then we'll have that position set as we hop on the bus Friday.
Welcome to Cardinal Coach's Corner, the first of the 2025 fall semester, and we're excited today to have our first guest of the semester be Sherard Poteete, the head football coach of the Cardinal football team. Poe is in his 14th season overall at the college and his 8th as head coach, and the Cardinals have reeled off 6 straight winning seasons, and they go into this season as the 14th ranked team in the NJCAA. Well, Poe, the season opens this Saturday, Independence of Kansas at 11 a.m. You defeated Independence here at Bruce Field last year, 37-30, and the game I think went into overtime.
I did.
What are your thoughts on Independence Take 2?
Well, I mean, obviously we're excited right now. The team, all this time since last football season, to recruiting to spring ball to going home for summer to now the guys showing back up in July and fall camp's finally here and you get to put a helmet on. We are so ready to go play somebody else. And you think every team at this time of year is just excited that football season's back. And so we're getting to hit the road Friday, go to Kansas. I know we're excited to go see how this 2025 Cardinal football team is going to look versus another opponent.
I know in the conversation you and I've had through the summer, I've noticed this confidence you got about what you got on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, we face them every day. And, from the offensive side, we have to see them every day. And we are. I mean, we're excited. And I think there's a high ceiling. There is potential there. And I wanted to go let those guys kind of go play freely and get after it. And that defensive line, we've got several guys back from last season. Tavian Coleman, Josiah Ali, Zacchaeus Thomas. We got some guys that are back returning that were very, very good football players for us as a freshman. And then we got some cats in the back that can run. And so just to get our team out there, finally us versus somebody else where we've got all the Cardinals on one sideline cheering, pulling for each other will be a first. Because right now at practice, it's offense on one side, defense on the side, and we're kind of competing against each other. Can't wait for us to go play together.
You've done it as a player and you've done it many years as a coach. How does that really wear on you as you've been through summer conditioning together, you've been through fall training to get together? It's the same guys you see every day. It's got to wear you down at some point.
Yeah, you're ready to see somebody else, right? You spend too much time with the same buddy or the same friend or the brother or whatever. You're ready to see somebody else. So,
you saw somebody this past Friday. You went down to Louisiana and scrimmaged Louisiana Christian University. Tell us how that went.
There was ups and downs. I think there was some growth. There was some areas like, we got to get better there. We kind of did some situational things. We put the ball in the 40 and drove it. We put the ball in the 25, kind of played some overtime periods just to try to hit some situational things that you can, that you're getting ready for in a game. Like we did a goal line period. We did a overtime period. So we got 5 drives, like in overtime, if you will, from a 25 plus going in. We scored all 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
We got the ball down there in the red zone. We had 3 drives. We scored all 3 times. Then, we had some drives from a 40, and then we were kind of split. Our offense versus their defense on one end, our defense and their offense on another end, so you could kind of get twice as many reps in the same amount of time. And then we were going to play like a live quarter so we can transition from offense to kicking game to defense to kicking game and back out and kind of get the flow of the game down as a dress rehearsal. And about 4 minutes into the quarter, lightning hits. And so went into like a 30-minute lightning delay, and it just was hovering. So we kind of got shortchanged a little bit there. Just working those kinks out that you want to get knocked out before you get into your live game where it counts for real.
We talked about you not having a lot of concern about your defensive side of the ball, or you haven't much expressed much. On the offensive side of the ball, while you've got a lot of good things going on that side, I know you've had some concern about your offensive line. You've been hit by by kids transferring out, which is what we want them to do here at Trinity Valley. And injuries have also played a role.
It has. And, so just going into the season, we're excited about the receiving corps. Like you go to last year's football team, there was 2 sophomores. So there's a lot of guys back. There's some experience. There's some older guys. There's some guys that can play football are back. Running back situation, same thing. We played all freshmen last year. So we've got guys back. And so we've got some experience in that room. Got some guys back in the tight end room. So we're excited about those positions, excited about our quarterback room. And, that's just one of the things right now as a coach, you're sitting there and you're looking at your quarterback room. I got 5 guys in there, and We got one guy that's been here for 3 years. He's redshirted. This is his third fall for us, so excited about him in our program. Got 2 transfers that we really like, and really like the 2 high school kids we signed. So we feel really good about that going into the fall.
As a coach, how do you try to approach it if you are maybe a little thin at some positions? Can you really disguise that? Or, I mean, are there ways? I mean, I don't expect you to tell everybody what you're going to do, but are there things that you can do to maybe take the pressure off those guys up front? I mean, it all starts up front.
It starts up front, and we're just going to be young. You know, those guys, the only returning sophomore, the only returning offensive lineman really back from last year's team was Jude Edwards, who we lost 3 days ago to West Virginia University, which is good for Jude and his family. That's why people come to the Valley, so they can move on and go to the Division I level. And now he's going to be playing in the Big 12. But the other guys, I mean, I think they're capable, right? We have expectations of those other guys. They're just new, and they haven't played in a game yet together with any of them. So these practices right now are viable. They're very important, and we've got to continue to grow. And that's the next thing is just getting out there and kind of getting to the flow of the game, and just, go for a series and then another series, and that's when you start, you get through that first quarter and you're starting to see that team finally hopefully come together like you envision it to.
So many times early in the season, we saw it firsthand last year, not to where it worked out for the best benefit of us, but special teams can decide games early on as the season progresses. Where do you think you are this year going into the season with your special teams play?
We've got some guys. We got the transfer that we took out of originally out of high school, went to University of Texas. Then we actually signed him, and then he wound up signing with Tulsa University. And now we signed him again. But Reed Malfers is a tall, long, lanky, just big leg kicker. He is long. He really is. And I know a couple of guys walking in the hall, first time I had seen him, was like, "Coach, did you bring in another quarterback?" Because he knows he's built like one. But Reed's got a really long leg. He is definitely our kickoff guy. And then he is competing right now with Christian Hernandez for the place kicking job. And Christian's a young man we got from Palestine, so a local guy that's doing a really good job in the place kicking world. And then we had kind of a little punting battle going on, and we were able to bring in a transfer, Max Zuluga. I'm going to mess his Max Z. Let's just go with Max Z. Zuluga. But Max Z, who's got some experience, a transfer from Troy University, that's got just a really powerful, strong leg, competing for a young man, Diego Valera, here on our team right now. So we're going to keep battling that out throughout this week, and then we'll have that position set as we hop on the bus Friday.
You start the season this year with 2 non-conference games. And then you get your first 2 conference games are at home at both at Bruce Field on the 13th and the 20th against Tyler and Cisco. How important is to it, considering you have 2 non-conference games and then 2 back-to-back conference games at home, is to get off to that good start?
Obviously, you want to, right? Every team, every year, right? And that's after game 1, half the world's going to be 1-0, and half the world's going to be 0-1. So obviously, we want to get off on a hot note, on a good start. But the 2 non-conference games, we're just trying to get those things so we can get everything worked out and the kinks worked out and go out and compete, so that whenever we hit that conference schedule, because it's going to be a tough conference schedule like it is every year, and we just want to be kind of in the flow and in our stride as we hit that conference home stretch.
Well, Paul, before we let you go, and I touched on this as we started, your 8th season as head coach, that has just flown.
It's flying. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Man. And before we do go, I want to talk about Monty Frank, former longtime SID at NEO, and he was there when you were there as a player and back there as a head coach. What a great representative he was for NEO and for the football league, for both before the Southwest Junior College formed, and then after they joined the SWJC.
Yeah, Monty, if you go, I can date myself a little bit. Go back to 97, 98. I played. I was quarterback for the Golden Norsemen up at NEO, and Monty obviously was a sports information director there, and he also taught. He was a professor, taught journalism. So I had Monty as a professor back as a student. You know, when I go off and you come back, and I started Trinity Valley back in 2010 as my first year as the offensive coordinator here. And I was here 10, 11, and 12, and then I went back to NEO as the head football coach in 13, and Monty's still there. And when we made our trip down to the Garden Valley for the Southwest Junior College Football Conference Media Day, Monty came with, you know, and so obviously very good, fond memories of Monty. And we were there last fall. We played NEO last year in November. And he was able to come to the game, and they wheeled him out in the wheelchair, and he was over in the corner of the end zone. So I got to go hug his neck last November and say hello to Monty one more time. But, you know, we talked about time flying by. Benny, we go back to 2010, and my youngest son, Parker, was 3 years old when we were here in 2010. And now as we fast forward to the 2025 season, he's on the sideline once again, but this time he'll be wearing a jersey and playing as a freshman.
Yeah, that's very
and so that's kind of cool too.
That's very cool. Folks, thank you for joining us for this Cardinal Coach's Corner. Paulie, thanks for stopping by. As always, we'll catch back up with you as the season progresses. And we'll be back next week, folks, and we hope you'll join us then. So until then, go Cardinals. Go Cards.